Ladies and gentlemen, epic PLE. And now we enter the build for War Games. So get ready. It's coming. Hey, yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Blaze here, back to you with the #1 here for Venomous Reaction. So you already know what it is, man. We got to talk about it. What we just witnessed tonight at Bad Blood, yo, it definitely lived up to its name to the core. And just a little bit of a heads up, like I didn't even know they was gonna start so early. So I kind of missed a good portion of the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre match, but I managed to catch like the tail end of it, like the final moments of it. But I will go back and rewatch that match and add my additional commentary down in the comment section down below. But nonetheless, we're gonna run down the list now for CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. But what I can catch, I ain't gonna lie, man, it looked like it was brutal to the core. And there was a few spots on there that I would like to highlight. And one was Drew was setting up the steps and he couldn't do it because he already been through the immense amount of punishment. And that's one thing that matters in the whole perspective of wrestling, is knowing how to sell the match and tell the story. And I love that about Drew. And I ain't gonna lie, the white noise on the steps, I was like, no. My neck, my back, my neck and my back. Yo, that move was brutal. And to see it in slow motion just made it that much more intense. I like that. And it took a lot for CM Punk to rally himself, and before you know it, there was another spot in the match where he hits the Anaconda Vice, and you saw Drew grab it for the wrench, and I was like, nope. CM Punk grabbed the wrench and just started beating his ass. I ain't gonna lie, that one was brutal. And there was one part in the match where Drew was begging off. I was like, no, you asked for this. CM Punk's look on his face like, you asked for this, you wanted this, now I'm gonna give it to you. And before he could deliver, ooh, the swift little low blow right to the biscuits. And Drew, he earned the title of the Ultimate Hater, because he pulls out a sack of what would normally be thumbtacks, but it was the broken pieces of the bracelet. I ain't gonna lie, when he pulled that out, I was like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. But lo and behold, he went for the Claymore, and CM Punk sidestepped and landed on the broken pieces. And CM Punk, before he got the fatal blow, oh, he returned the favor. He grabbed a handful of those broken pieces and just jammed it down Drew's throat. Right before he delivered the good old GTS for the 1, 2, 3, thanks for coming. And I ain't gonna lie, man, that one was a war from what I could tell, from what I watched. And it was the final moments after the match that really told the story. The iconic slamming of the door, meaning he was closing not only the door, but closing the chapter of the epic trilogy of him versus Drew. And he had the worst wear. He couldn't even walk out on his own. And that was the pivotal point of him selling the aftermath of what Hell in a Cell could do for you. Well, not for you, but do to you. So I like that. And honestly, I can see why they kicked it off with the Hell in a Cell match. You know, honestly, 10 out of 10. I mean, you can't get no more of a better match than that during this pay-per-view. Well, not pay-per-view. I don't even want to say pay-per-view. PLE. All right. That was done. 10 out of 10, Hell in a Cell, good way to start off the match. Next up was Nia Jax versus Bayley. And I'm not gonna lie, it was tough to follow up after we just witnessed Hell in a Cell of that magnitude. But you know what? They did okay. They did okay. And there was a few match spots that I would like to call out from here. And it started off strong with Nia Jax is pretty much dominating over Bayley. Like, it's basically Nia saying, oh, this is not gonna be an easy night for you. I'm gonna make this the longest, most exhausting match of your life. And she succeeded. And Bayley, she was trying so hard to up the offense of it, but to no avail. Nia Jax, too big, too powerful, too strong, shut Bayley down immediately, every step of the way. And Nia showed a little bit of something that's outside of her character, you know, going for submission holds. And I ain't gonna lie, it actually worked. Because you normally don't see Nia Jax using submissions in every match, that she has been in. So to see her go for a bear hug, which is basically squeezing the life out of you, and when she gets down to the ground, hit her with the single leg Boston Crab, I'm like, okay, Nia, you're pulling out something that's not normally in your repertoire. I like that. I like to see that, like, every once in a while from wrestlers. You know, you think you're gonna see the normal routine? Oh no, I got other stuff in the repertoire. I just don't use it unless it is most needed. I like that. And then there was one spot that I really don't know what I really don't know what was supposed to happen. I mean, Nia Jax had Bayley hemmed up in the corner, and she was basically going to hit the Annihilator, but Bayley was going to counter with the power bomb, and it looked like she was going to hit it, but I don't know if Nia was supposed to counter with a Hurricanrana or what. I don't know if that was a botch or was that intended. I don't know. That spot was a little bit iffy for me. But right after that, she hits Bayley with her own Bayley to belly. Bayley right infringement, as Christian Miracle would say. Oh man, but I will say another spot that was a little bit insane, but I guess it worked. But it was the sunset flip from Bayley to Nia Jax, but I don't know if it was the landing that was botched, but yeah, Nia Jax landed right on Bayley during the whole sunset flip powerbomb. And I don't know, but Bayley showed a smidgen of strength when she got Nia Jax up for the Samoan drop. That was beautifully done. I mean, she could lift her up for much longer, but she pulled it off. And I like the fact that we got to see a variety of moves right before the finish, but given the fact that that kick to the face from Nia causing her to fall on top of the referee, that was when the sequence took place. You know, somewhat of the pop-up stunner into the Rhodes plant, and and right before she goes for the kill, Tiffany Stratton, yeah, I'm stumbling over my words, but Tiffany shows up with the briefcase in hand, you know, quote unquote, trying to help out Nia Jax, but you know, Nia Jax would probably take it the wrong way, but nonetheless, we get to see a sequence between Tiffany Stratton and Bayley, and right before we figure out what she was about to do, I'm guessing she was checking on the referee, but low-key, I think she wanted to cash in on it, but they were low-key teasing it. But the most insane spot that Nia Jax set up like Kane. But that was hilarious. But you know, Tiffany trying to explain herself, but yeah, Bayley was like, no, you know what, enough of this. I had enough. Knocks Nia into Tiffany, and then we get a sequence, and right before Bayley was about to go for, I believe, the elbow, Tiffany tosses the briefcase up to Bayley, and Bayley just throws it back. And right before that, Nia Jax gets up and hits a Samoan drop from the second rope, and right then I knew it was game over. Right after that, Annihilator, 1, 2, 3, thanks for coming. And I'm not gonna lie, it was an okay match, so I'll give it 7.5 out of 10. You know, there was a few botches here and there, and you know, the counters did go as well as they attended, but it was still a pretty good match. I mean, I'm not gonna knock it, but the botches kind of dropped down the rating just a little bit. So next up, we got Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, and not much to go on about this match because pretty much the match told itself. And it was the epic stare down. Like, you know what, I've been waiting for this. Damian was waiting patiently for his chance to get his hands on the very person that betrayed him, Finn Balor. And you could tell by the look on Damian's face, like he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. But yo, man, Damian was not wasting any time. Like, he opened up in the most vicious way, like various lefts and rights. And you know how Damian is with that right hand. You can like hear, like, it was basically like a shotgun going off, like, pow! Oh man, but it was a moment where Finn Balor was out of the ring, and Damian was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and mow this fool down. And right before you know it, sling blade on the outside of the ring. Love to see it. But I will say they had an interesting back and forth, and you know, you see counter for counter, and one of the counters was Finn Balor going to the top rope, and he hits him with a devastating right hand. Whew, that was crucial. And then there was a series of counters until Damian countered initially with the broken arrow, and I ain't gonna hold you. Yo, I would have thought Damian was gonna like El Finito like Finn Balor, but then we get a moment where Finn Balor was outside of the ring again, and you would think he was gonna counter, but no. Damian hit the pounce and sent Finn Balor sailing all across the announce table. That was good to see. And then right before Damian was about to go for the kill, we get the interference from the Judgment Day, and lo and behold, thanks to JD McDumbass, as I would like to call him, Finn Balor was able to counter and set up for the coup de grace, but you would think he would have got the 1, 2, 3, but Damian was like, no, it ain't gonna be that easy, my guy. but then we get Carlito and JD McDumdum trying to interfere again, but Damian was ready. He was ready, and out goes Carlito, and then he sent JD sailing, like the height on JD when he went over the top rope. I ain't gonna hold you, man. That one was insane. But then once Finn Balor got to his feet, he went for back-to-back coup de grace. Like, one was to the head, and then he hit another one, which was to his back. But then he went for the third one, and Damian was ready, and before you know it, South of Heaven choke slam. 1, 2, 3, thanks for coming. And I ain't gonna lie, that one was an 8 out of 10, and it showcased the fact that Damian Priest is a force to be reckoned with, and sooner or later he's gonna get back to getting some gold around his waist somewhere down the line. And you know what? I'm ready for it, because Damian proved that he can handle the Judgment Day by himself, and he won it clean against Finn Balor. Love to see it. And then there was a brief little moment where Triple H came out and he made a historic announcement about Crown Jewel, which is gonna happen in Saudi Arabia in like 4 weeks. And then he unveiled a new title, the Crown Jewel Championship, which is gonna be meant for the men and the women. And in Saudi Arabia, there's gonna be 2 matches, like champion versus champion match, but no titles is on the line, just for the right to call himself the Crown Jewel Champion. And it's gonna be Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, champion versus champion for the men's side, and for the women's side, right now it's looking like it could be Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax, which I already know, like, Liv is not winning. She ain't winning unless there's gonna be some shenanigans, which I'm banking on. But then Gunther comes out, and you know what? He's basically being his normal Gunther self. And you know what? When you came out here during the King of the Ring, you handed me the crown, so you might as well make it. You might as well repeat itself with this championship, because I already got it won. I already got it in the bag. So you might as well just give me the championship now. And then he looks over and he sees Bill Goldberg. And you know what? He led on with the fact of, you know, I was out here like a few weeks ago, and I basically just talked about, I dropped your name. And then he sees his son Gage. And you know, Gunther, he is the ultimate hater. One of the ultimate haters. And he made the remark like, I wish he would be a better father than he was a better wrestler. And you know, Goldberg, he was ready for the smoke. Like, he jumped the barricade. Like, you know what? I'm gonna pierce you in half. But out of nowhere comes Sami Zayn in black hoodie fashion, you know, giving Gunther the beats. Like, you know what? You're not gonna come out here and disrespect all the legends in here that's in attendance right now. You're not gonna do it. So you know what? I'm gonna give you the beats. I'm gonna give you the beats and give you a preview of what's to come Monday night. You know what? I love that small little segment break from the PLE, and we go into Liv versus Rhea. I ain't gonna lie, man. The interest for Dom and Liv, that one was clean with the lowrider. I love it. But the funniest part of the whole thing, Rhea was like, you know what, Dom? You know you're afraid of heights, right? You know you're afraid of heights. So you know what? Raise the cage up, boys. And then next thing you know, Liv looking up at Dom, and the match gets underway, and Rhea's going into crash out mode. Like, basically giving her the beats. Up until the point where Liv took control and did the dragon screw onto the injured knee that she was targeting all throughout these weeks leading up to Bad Blood. And lo and behold, Rhea had a target, which was that banged up knee. You know, even though it was healed, I mean, it still got some lingering pain. So that was smart. When your opponent has an injury, you gotta capitalize on it by any means necessary. And Liv did in true fashion. And next thing you know, she got her in a single leg Boston Crab, and low key, low-key transitioned to like the calf crusher, so to speak. And then I ain't gonna lie, we saw some brutality from Liv that we have never seen before. You know, she targeted the knee, and I'm trying to maintain my thoughts here. I mean, she targeted the knee, and then once they were outside of the ring, she was throwing Rhea into the barricade, and the brutal spot in that one was the sunset flip into the barricade. Ooh, I ain't gonna lie, I cringed at that. But the insane part about that is, it led to the top of the rope, the top rope code breaker, right before she hit it with the second. I ain't gonna lie, I love that one. But Rhea showed something that we have yet to see before. I've never seen anyone counter the Oblivion the way Rhea did. Like she basically flipped through and bad leg and all, and lo and behold, she tried to get Liv ready for the Riptide, but she countered it to a unique move, and I believe Corey Graves called that the Homewrecker. I don't know if that's the official name of the move or not, but it was effective. It was effective, don't get me wrong. But the ultimate disrespect was when she tried to hit the Three Amigos. Lo and behold, tribute to Dom, ergo Eddie Guerrero. But right before she hit that third amigo, it was game over, and she hit like the razor's edge in a jackknife powerbomb type of fashion, if that makes any sense. But then there was something that we really did pay attention to, and that was Dom like getting the cage door open. I was so caught up in the match, and I was like, yo, why is the cage door open? Did he pick the lock? But he got the cage door open, and you know, Liv and Rhea was out of the ring, and the brutality just kicked up a notch, and Rhea was like, oh, now you got a perfect view. Watch this. And lo and behold, Riptide outside of the ring. And what was a holy shit moment? Dom slips out of the cage, and I ain't gonna lie, that one was scary, because I thought he was going to legit fall out like head first onto the floor. And he got stuck on the chain, and I'm like, you know what? Liv is gonna take a nap right now. So you know what? Let me go have some fun. Just a little bit. And even she told the ref, like, you know what? Just give me a minute. And low key, the ref was like, you know what? He deserves it. So you know what? Take your time on my dime. Go have fun. And lo and behold, she breaks out the kendo stick and about to whoop Dom's ass like a piñata. And she did. And something that we predicted, Raquel Rodriguez comes out and assaults Rhea Ripley. And I don't know, I felt like that went completely wrong. Because I don't know if the rep was in a bad spot, but you know, Rhea Ripley wins by disqualification. I'm not sure it was supposed to go that way. I don't know, like, but the fact that Raquel Rodriguez put Liv on top of Rhea Ripley, and I believe that was supposed to be where the referee was supposed to make the count, but you know, he got caught in the bad spot and he witnessed everything, so he had to call an audible and call for disqualification. You know, Rhea Ripley wins, but she doesn't get the title. And it was a good match, but that ending was a little sketchy. So that's why I gotta say 7 out of 10 for that one. I mean, it was a good match, but sketchy ending. And then we get to the nitty gritty. Cody and Roman versus Solo and Jacob. And I ain't gonna lie, having the HBCU coming out to perform Cody's theme was epic. I'm not gonna hold you, but Roman was like, you know what? I see your aura. I'm gonna match it. And he got his interest orchestrated. Like his aura, in my opinion, his aura like eclipsed Cody's aura, if that makes any sense. And I love the fact that Michael Cole basically referenced like this is his first entrance without a title in almost 4 years. Like almost 4 years. That alone says a lot, because normally we see Roman make an entrance is normally with a championship on his shoulder, but there's no championship. So it low-key it hits different because we're not used to seeing Roman without a title. And then the match starts off, you know, we got Cody and Jacob starting off, and lo and behold, they hit like a series of moves. Hit the shoulder. Cody hits the shoulder block on Jacob. Like, you know what? Run that. And then we get a sequence between those two right before Solo comes in, and then Roman was like, you know what? We're not gonna have that. But you know what? We get the face-off we normally anticipated. We get Solo versus Roman. Tag to Solo, tag to Roman. And Solo gets in the ring, and Roman was like, you know what? He's low-key saying, let me have him. And Cody was like, you know what? I'm gonna let him take this one. Tag to Roman, and lo and behold, we get a sequence between those two. And then out of nowhere, like, you get Solo get sent out the ring, and low-key we getting a face-off between Roman and Jacob. And I'm like, you know what? This is another matchup we anticipated, but we didn't get a chance to get it. So you know what? Solo's like, you know what? Let me come from behind and just bam, clocks him right from behind. And the sequence between Solo and Jacob to Roman, you know, you get Solo hitting the Samoan wrecking ball to Roman, and then, you know, Jacob comes in, and you know what? That sounds like a good idea. Let me give him a Samoan wrecking ball of my own, and boom, lies. And I'm not gonna lie, the hilarious way Roman sells the Samoan wrecking ball is insane. And I love that. I love that fashion of it. And there was another spot when Solo gets Cody outside the ring and basically hits a spinning Solo to the apron. And another insane spot is Jacob biting Cody like he was a damn cannibal. Like, somebody get Jacob some help. But it was entertaining, I ain't gonna lie. But once he got him hemmed up in the corner, it was back-to-back Samoan wrecking balls to Cody. And right before he was going to get a chance to hit his version of the Swanton, Cody gets his knees up, and then that's where the match picks up with Roman and Solo coming in, and with the back and forth between those two, and it basically leads up to Roman basically putting on a dominating performance against Solo, and then lo and behold, he goes for the Superman punch, but then it gets countered into a Samoan spike, which in turn gets countered into into a crucifix, and we don't see Roman hit the crucifix. So to see him do that was insane. I love that. And then another dope spot was Jacob hitting his patented moonsault, which leads to Solo hitting his splash and try to get the pin, and it wasn't gonna go down like that. But then we get a sequence with Cody and Jacob outside, and it wound up with him hitting crossroads outside of the ring. And then it's like Jacob is part machine. He's basically the Terminator. Like, why is he still moving? But it does showcase that Jacob is a force to be reckoned with, and it leaves Cody to thinking like, what the hell do I have to do to keep this fool down? but it leads to Cody getting his get back with the splash off the top of the rope onto the announce table, and it puts Jacob down for the count. And the constant back and forth with Roman and Solo in the ring, and it had him set up for the spear, but lo and behold, the Tongans come out and run interference just for Solo to gather up enough energy to deliver a spear. And it was like, no, that was spear right infringement. And lo and behold, you can hear Solo speaking to Roman like, you lied to me. You told me I was next in line. You told me I was gonna be next up, but you lied to me. And I love the zoom out, and you see the Tongas, but you see a mysterious presence in a black hoodie. And there's only one person I could think of that would be in the black hoodie in this matter. And lo and behold, I was right. It was good old Jimmy Uso. In black hoodie fashion, super kick to Tonga Loa and super kick to Tama Tonga. Right before the great unveiling. Like, I'm back. Run it. And Solo so focused on Jimmy, he took his eyes off Roman, and then lo and behold, spear. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for coming. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought it would be the other way around, like Cody and Roman was gonna lose, but I'm thankful I'm wrong. I'm glad this happened the way it did. And we got to see the embrace of Jimmy and Roman. Like, you know what? My loyalties to you, my guy. My loyalties to you, and it was a beautiful thing to see. And I love the fact that at one point we get a shot of Jimmy and Roman looking back at Cody, and Michael Cole referenced what Roman said to Cody. Like, you're in my way in life. And looking at Cody and looking at the undisputed title, like, okay, this business is handled. You know what? It's time to get back what's rightfully mine. And then they both leave the ring, and lo and behold, the bloodline started to swarm Cody. And Jimmy was like, yo, you gonna run to help or not? Roman's like, it was only supposed to be a one-time thing, but like, you know what? If you're rolling, I'm rolling with you. And then lo and behold, they come back, cleared the ring, and then we get a shot at Roman looking at the title before handing it back to Cody. And lo and behold, Cody's raising the title up to the sky, and that's when we were here. If you smell, and the crowd went nuts. The final boss makes an appearance, and the crowd was just eating it up, like bar none. And the thing about it is, he didn't have to say anything, but he said a lot with just the gestures alone. And he stared at what was lying in the ring, and he sees Jimmy, he sees Cody, he sees Roman, and he did the gesture 1, 2, 3 with the slit of the throat, like you guys are done. You guys are done. I'm back now. Now I'm about to handle some business. And low key, I was trying to figure that out. Like, was that primarily to Roman or was it to all three? But I would say it was both. He sees three people in the ring. I mean, Cody was already on the list. That goes without saying. And to see Roman do the unthinkable in the final boss's eyes, basically helping the man that took the title from him. And to see Jimmy helping Roman, pretty much the final boss is saying, oh, you're guilty just by association alone. So you know what? Now that I'm back, I'm gonna take care of all three of y'all. Like, game over. It's done. But that match was a 10 out of 10. And now we look forward to the War Games. The Civil War between the bloodline we got now and the original bloodline. Now, there's a few vital pieces that's missing. Now, you know, the final boss, he's basically gonna run with Solo. I'm already betting that right now. But Roman has Jimmy and who else? Like, how do you build towards like the Civil War in War Games between the whole bloodline? How do you build towards that? And if Jay Uso is involved, how do you include him? And the only way I can see that happening is, you know, the final boss gives the signal, get his ass, and winds up costing him the Intercontinental Championship because, you know, at one point Jay Uso didn't want anything to do with the bloodline. So he's out here doing his own thing, making his own mark, making his own legacy. So they may have a problem with that. So if that does happen, oh, we're gonna get the embrace from Jimmy and Jay Uso, and he's gonna get brought into it. And I cannot wait to see how everything moves, like, from this point on, leading up to Survivor Series, War Games, between the entire bloodline. You got The Rock's bloodline, you got Roman's bloodline. Who will prevail? And you know, out of everything that happened during this PLE, I would give it a solid 9. Solid 9 out of 10. Because we had a strong start and a strong finish. And everything in between, it really did help. It really did add on to the mystique of Bad Blood, you know, the whole meaning of it, but it was tough to follow through with the Hell in a Cell match. I'm not even gonna hold you. But what did y'all think of Bad Blood? And I want to know, what was the highlight of the PLE in your opinion? Yo, let the comment section have it. And as always, thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this one. And don't forget to tell your peoples across the globe, come kick it with your boys. Just one good solid time. And you already know what to do next, fam. Follow your boy on social media right over yonder. And this here's your boy Blaze saying Chuck that deuce, and I will see y'all in the next video. And I'm out.